I'm Amanda.
I'm also Amanda.
And welcome to Idiots Explain, the podcast where one Amanda shares one thing that Amanda likes to the other Amanda.
Which the other Amanda knows nothing about.
That makes sense, right? Yeah.
I think so. Do you want to do it over?
No. We're in too deep.
We're in.
Okay.
Also, pardon any background noises. I just got a new dog.
And she's so cute. Where is she?
She's right there.
Oh my god, she's so cute. She's like half German Shepherd and half
We don't know. Maybe Sharpei.
We've agreed Sharpei for the moment until different.
Yes.
Okay. So Grivas, I am so stoked to talk about this today. So you and I have known each other for a while, and we've done theater together.
Yes, we have.
Okay. Let's talk some theater.
Which one?
Let's talk some musical theater. Better yet, let's talk about one of the most successful musicals of all time. Something that has defined me as an individual.
That's a big statement.
Oh, it's a big show. Grivas, let's talk Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, okay.
I'm so excited. Oh my god.
Here we go.
Oh my god. Okay.
She literally can't contain herself, by the way, now. She's
so
like freaking out, and I'm just staring at the dog.
Okay, let me guys give you some backstory. I've been in theater for a while now, but back when I was in like the 6th grade, I'd always like listened to the music when just like whatever. But back in the 6th grade, I finally like sat down and actually listened to the music. That was in 2006. It's 2018, and I still am just like obsessed with this musical. It is literally in my being. Come here, puppy.
Come here. She was just chasing her tail. I was trying so hard not to laugh.
God damn it, dog. But this musical is just in my being, and it's in my soul. I mean, I used to practice acting it out in my room in like the dead of night. So you would just see me. If you were to walk into my room, I would just be on my headphones, just like throwing myself around the room, making the weirdest ass faces. And it's just magic.
I relate.
Do you know anything about Phantom, really? I know you've done theater.
Yes.
You did theater for a couple years or whatever. And
I would say for about 4 years I did theater.
Okay. Do you know anything? How much do you know about Phantom?
I know there's a dude with a mask, and it's an opera.
Grivas, take me by the hand, and just let's go on this magical journey together.
Dive deep into Phantom of the Opera.
So excited. Okay. Okay. So it's definitely not going to be as plot heavy as like Star Wars. So basically what it's about is that there's this guy who lives under the opera house.
Oh, yes.
The Phantom of the Opera. And he has been teaching this like 16-year-old soprano who is a chorus girl, but he teaches her how to sing like really well because he wants her to sing his music. And of course, she sings and she becomes this big star. However, he's like super jealous because after her first performance, she meets like an old childhood crush. And then he gets super jealous and is like, no, you sing just for me. I'm going to take you down to my lair. And, of course, like, he lets her return to a normal life at some point.
At some point.
Yeah. But there's just, honestly, that's kind of the bare bones of it. It's kind of a love triangle between the Phantom, Christine, the young soprano, and Raoul, who is her childhood friend, who she does end up marrying and...
Okay. Spoiler alert.
Oh, this happens after that, but she gets engaged and she eventually gets married to him, but it's just, oh my god.
This seems a lot more like basic love triangle than just some weird dude in a mask that lives under an opera.
Yeah, slightly.
that I knew of it as.
Oh no. This musical is all about like love and being and like can't having what you want, and she doesn't. And, of course, she doesn't end up with a Phantom, but not because he's ugly. She doesn't really... I mean, of course, at the beginning, you care if somebody's...
Oh, is he ugly? Is that why he wears the mask?
Okay. Yes.
I thought it was just, like, a thing he was into.
No, oh, my... Okay. Why? So, the question of the hour is...
He was just that extra.
The question of the hour is, why does the Phantom wear a mask and live under the opera house? Depending on what your source is, there are a couple different answers, but those answers are stupid. So we're gonna stick. We're gonna stick to the main one. I will tell you about the other ones later because there are so many like renditions of Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
But they're so beautiful. It just oh, you disaster. Oh, you're so gorgeous. Or some of them are actually really good. But We're talking one of them where like the Phantom is played by the guy who plays Freddy Krueger.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's just I watched it one Halloween and I was just like, oh, you masterpiece, you horrible masterpiece. But
wait, you watched Phantom of the Opera on Halloween with the guy?
It was Phantom of the Opera was made into a horror movie.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it was magic.
I mean, I feel like that coincides with a lot of what you see parody of Phantom of the Opera.
Oh yeah,
because it's always like a horror thing.
No, it was originally gothic horror. It was originally a book written by a Frenchman named Gaston Leron. I totally said there's Leroy. I don't know. I can't remember how to say his name properly.
It's fine.
But the reason the Phantom of the Opera is under the Opera House, before I lose track, is because when he was born he had a horrible he still has a horrible deformity. Yeah. His face is just fucking ugly. He's just an ugly motherfucker. Again, if you look at the stage play, it'll just be like he was in like a traveling circus and he was brought in by the master like ballet teacher. He was brought in by her to live under the Opera House where he could be his genius self, because he's a genius. He's a composer. He writes beautiful music. He's practically a magician because in like the books he originally was not originally. In the books he was also like the main magician to a sultan in Persia. There was some backstory. I've read the books. I've been to the Parisian Opera House from whence this was based. I wasn't able to go in though because there was a performance going on and I hadn't cried that bad in a while. It was horrible. I was heartbroken. Oh my god, it was so.
You have to go back now.
I do. I will one day. Then and he lives under. There is actually a lake under the Parisian under the Opera House.
Oh, is that part of the story?
Yeah, and he lives under the lake.
Does he go swimming?
He doesn't go swimming, but he has a kick-ass boat.
He has a kick-ass pool party?
No, but he has a kick-ass boat.
Boat? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, it's so hard to describe. It can be kind of hard to describe this when you have no music. But yeah, it was originally written.
We'll listen to it after, maybe.
Oh, yes, we will.
Actually, no, I take that back.
I'll give you some highlights. I'll give you some of the main ones later. But it came out as a musical out of the West End in 86. And 86? 84. No. Yes.
Some mid-80s.
I'm going to say 80. I'm going to say 86. But it was written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Yes. And this was one of his...
That I also knew.
Okay. Yeah, this was one of his 4 like mega hits. I think Cats came out like before it, but Cats is a hit or miss. I personally love Cats. But have you ever seen Cats?
No.
Okay. That's probably not going to be an episode because it's just so hard to describe Cats without you having actually seen Cats.
I feel like it would be a hard thing to describe.
It's just a dance.
Based off like the parodies.
Honestly, it's a dance show. Yeah. That's really what it is.
It's a dance show that went places.
Oh yeah, and where people can just dress like cats and dance and twirl and jump and bounce and
it's
sing.
It's like Furries, the dance musical.
Oh my. Yeah, a little bit. A little. Oh my. Ew. Oh. Okay.
Did I just ruin Cats?
Yeah,
for you?
You honestly just ruined Cats for me a little bit. Oh, Deuteronomy, no. Okay, but yeah, and ever since it has since been the longest running musical in Broadway history. Okay. We're talking like over like 10,000 performances, probably more by now. It's still going. Yeah. I want to say it still plays at the West End in London. I think. Don't quote me on that. And there have been so many freaking renditions of it. It's been going for, I think in like 2012 it reached its 25-year anniversary, and they performed it at the Royal Hall.
Nice.
And they had like, do you know the name Ramin Carmelo?
No.
Okay. Ramin Carmelo is this huge Broadway star. He was in like Les Mis. It's one of those things where it's like
it was a really big deal.
It was a really big deal that he got to play it, and of course that was his dream role, and he got to play it. And Noodles, I'm so excited for you because his name's Ramen. So Ramen Noodles.
There's also an artist called Noodles, and I thought of her, like a musical artist.
Just Family Opera, and just it's just some of my favorite songs from it. I think if I'm gonna like go in order, which I'm not going to, there's one song called "Music of the Night,"
I've heard of that song.
Oh my god!
I don't know if I've heard it, but I've heard that name before.
Na 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 na. No.
I don't know.
Na 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 na.
Maybe.
Yeah, you've probably heard. I'm gonna play it for you after this, and you're probably gonna be like, I've heard that song. I'm not expecting you to like embed it into your soul like I have, but it's just like, oh. But it's like Music of the Night. I still listen to it when I have trouble sleeping because sometimes I really wish that a masked hooded man would appear in my mirror because I'm weird and a fangirl like that.
I'll tell Hayden to propose to you that way.
Oh my god. No, don't do that. Don't do that. It would ruin it.
It would ruin it.
Everything would be ruined. Whatever. And then there's like Wishing You Were Somehow Here Again, which actually one of the main things about this is that Christine's father has died. He died like 3 years prior to this plot. 3 years prior? 8 years.
Depends on who you ask.
Depends on who you ask. I'm gonna say like 8 years, although I think she was supposed to be like really younger. However, she's 16, 8 years, she'd be 8 years old. Okay, that's fair. But one of the things in Phantom of the Opera is that when her father was alive, and he was a very famous violinist when he was alive, and he would always like tell stories about the angel of music. And he told Christine that when he was in heaven, he would send the angel of music to her, which really messes up her psyche. Christine is a real tormented character because she's torn between, like, her dad's dead, her lover's in town, her lover's in town, and the fact that it's like she thinks that this masked man is her angel of music sent by her father. So it's like her father's still alive and like sent this to her. However, just her luck, she ends up with like some 50-year-old man who has never been touched by anybody in his life and is just obsessed with her. Like it's love, it's lust, it's obsession. But of course, she can't reciprocate that love because she's got this other guy.
Yeah, and plus he's a big go.
Yeah, he's just hot. And hopefully, it depends on the character. Should be hot. Always should be hot. Oh god, why something when they're not
You're getting yourself into a
when they're not hot. It's not fun. He has a wonderful personality. Depending on the actor.
Depending on who you ask.
Depending on the actor. Because so many people describe Raoul as like this pretty boy, and yes, he is. But if you have that one strong voice, like Steve Barton, aka the original Raoul, it's just it's magic. Everything about this play is just magic, magic.
It just turns you into an Italian chef stereotype.
It turns me on. But yeah, Christine's like this tormented character, and then there's this one song called Masquerade where it's right after intermission, so everybody's come back from intermission, and we are immediately put into this masquerade ball. It's so
That's
cool.
such a good way to come back from an intermission, which is such a stage check thing to say. I'm like, oh yeah, that really.
Yeah, no. Okay, if you want to talk like show-stopping number, Masquerade, we're talking like flowing gowns worn by the women and like top hats by the guys, and everybody's wearing these masks and these costumes. There's this one famous costume where like this one guy is wearing like he's half a man and half a woman.
Yeah.
So those are really cool. And plus if you kind of look more into the story, think of how terrifying it is if you were being practically haunted by a masked man going to a masquerade ball.
I see it's not irony, but also the irony.
Yeah, it's just like that added a little bit to.
Also, is it haunted if he's a real person and not a ghost?
Well, everybody thinks he's a ghost. There are a lot of people who don't. He's just.
That is just stalking.
He's just the Phantom of the Opera. Correct. Correct. It is totally 100% stalking. But no, most people don't even believe he exists.
Okay.
Until it becomes very, very, very blatant he exists when he shows up in the masquerade ball and is like, "What's up, guys? You thought I left? I think not. Here, play my musical, play my opera, or I will, burn the place down." Which, again,
that happens?
That happens in the book. Well, it doesn't happen in the book. It's something like that almost happens in the book. The book is
Does it happen in the play? Do they burn the playhouse down?
No, they do not burn the opera house down. They do he does bring down the chandelier though.
The chandelier.
Yeah, the chandelier, which actually happens. It happens in the book, and it actually kills a person in the book.
Oh, nice. That's fun.
Oh yeah, totally fun. It was our first time at the opera house too. this random lady. But
Yeah.
I highly recommend that everybody read the book, mainly because it's
How long is it?
It's probably about 200 pages.
Okay.
Maybe. But
it's no Les Mis.
No, it's no. Oh, no, it's no Les Mis. But and if you watch the musical or watch any other rendition of the story, I will promise you right now, the book is so different. Like any great piece of literature, I found it really boring. The only reason that I ever read it is because I am a huge fan of the opera person, and I was just like, I want to read the book. I want to read the source material.
So you're basically telling people to read a book that they'll probably think is boring.
Yes.
Great advice. I enjoy that.
Isn't that what high school literature class is all about?
I don't know. I took creative writing for 2 years in high school, so I didn't really have to do that.
Fair. However, I did find Mice and Men in flash fiction, so.
Oh, yeah, you were in flash fiction.
I was in the bottom of the barrel in reading class because I didn't want to freaking read. I read one chapter of A Brave New World and was just like,
ow.
What the freak is this? This is BS.
That was basically creative writing, except you still got college credit for it. And you could choose what you wanted to read.
I wish. But it's just like this musical and this concept and this story is so, it is beloved
Beautiful.
by so many people. There's so many people who watch the musical are like, oh, Christine should have ended up with the Phantom, because she doesn't. She goes home with Raoul.
Right.
But Andrew Lloyd Webber has a total hard-on for the Phantom.
Oh, yeah.
He gives him all of these arias and this stage time and all this sympathy, while meanwhile Raoul is literally just eye candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people are like,
he gets shoved to the side.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's so lonely. Oh, Christine should have ended up with him. Felt sorry for him. Time out.
It's probably because Andrew Lloyd Webber relates to the Phantom, because Andrew Lloyd is not a good looking man.
No, he's not. Well, it's not just that, but it's also, he's not exactly the most personable guy. He rules like all of his productions with like an iron fist.
Also, the majority of what I know about Andrew Lloyd Webber is from The Nanny.
I
thought I'd just put that out there.
Wait, what's The Nanny?
The Nanny, it was, do you know Fran Dresser?
Oh!
Yeah. That TV show, because she is a nanny for a playwright.
Yeah.
And he's always like, fucking Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, Andrew Lloyd Webber was married to Sarah Brightman, who was the original Christine.
Oh.
See, a lot of good stuff can happen when you sleep with the director.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. Any questions so far? Anything that you want?
No. I feel like I understand for the most part. I'm not really a questioning person. I feel like it's also pretty straightforward.
Yeah. But it's just me talking about Phantom of the Opera is just like, yeah, it's like everybody's like, oh, she should have ended up with the Phantom. It's like, no, our fairy tale, our happy fairy tale ending minds tell us like, yes, she should end up with the one who's the most lonely.
Underdog.
It's like, go with the underdog. No. Yeah, it's like, yes, absolutely. Go with the man who pretty much stalked you for months, taught you how to sing, pretended to be the angel that was sent by your dead father, dating an underaged woman, may I add.
Yeah.
Because she's like 16 at the time. Pedophilia is a thing.
I was gonna ask. Now I thought of a question.
Not to mention, he kidnapped her at the very end.
Oh, fuck. I was gonna ask, did she ever realize that he is not said angel?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
When the play starts, she had been taking voice lessons from him for months.
Okay.
He was just this voice.
Yeah.
So there was no
there was no face. Yeah.
There was no face. He was just a disembodied voice that she took lessons from the walls of the dressing room, because that's normal. But
okay.
And it's not until
now I have another question knowing that.
Okay.
Was it just like one day, like, hey, person behind in the wall, want to give you voice lessons, or was it like set up? This person's gonna do it, but it's gonna be,
again, depending on where you look. But I think what the thing is like, she's a chorus girl in the opera.
Right.
And then one day he heard her sing, fell in love with her, became obsessed with her, and like came to her saying like, I want to teach you lessons or something. And she was like, are you the angel of music that was sent by my father? And he's like, yeah. 100%. You got me, babe.
That really changes the whole thing.
Yeah, no, it was, he presented himself to her, and she's like, angel of music? Yeah, babe, you got me. Absolutely, 100%. And then he reveals himself to her after her first performance that just so happened to have the Vicomte de Cheny, Raoul Cheny, aka her boy toy, basically.
Boyfriend.
Her boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
Yeah. her childhood boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And Raoul visited her in her dressing room after the show, and the Phantom saw that, got super jealous, and then in one of the most famous parts of the entire show, when he appears to her in the mirror. Oh. I gotta show you this musical, because everything will make so much more sense.
Okay.
If you see it.
It's starting to line up.
Yeah. I mean, if you listen to it, it's one of those, it's kind of like Les Mis, where the entire story is in the music.
Yeah. So it's not like Book of Mormon, where you listen to the music and they go, and you're like, and then you're like, oh, this is what happened.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're here now. Okay. But yeah, if you listen to the entire show, the narrative is in the music, which is fantastic, because then you see the entire show and you know the entire. Yeah. It really covers learning the entire script and learning all the music. It kills two birds with one stone, like Hamilton. But yeah, and then after he appears to her in the mirror, that's when he takes her down through the mirror into the the mirror slides to the side. Okay. It's a two-way mirror. So the mirror slides to the side. He takes her down into the lake, his home under the opera house, and then
does he live in the lake?
He doesn't live in the lake. He has a house.
He's not the lady of the lake.
He has a lair. No, he is not the lady of the lake. This is not Spamalot by any means.
I don't think I've ever seen Spamalot.
I've never seen Spamalot either, but the music in that, it kind of, I like 3 songs in the entire show, and the rest I'm just like, why am I here?
I mean, it's Monty Python.
Find Your Grail and Diva's Lament. Oh, I love just belting out Diva's Lament. I can't do it right now because my voice is jacked up.
Which you're all welcome for.
Oh my god, my voice is so freaking jacked up. But, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Were you just saying that you're welcome for not singing?
Yeah. We don't have to sing.
Did I just get burned and I didn't even realize it until the last second? Okay. Rude. A little bit.
Not that you have a bad voice, just that, we don't have to sit through you singing a whole song.
Whatever happened to my show? And cut. Again, I have no voice, so I will not ruin my voice for you people who do not appreciate fine art and fine vocal talent.
We don't, so continue.
Okay. I could sing a rendition of Think of Me from Phantom of the Opera.
No thanks.
Okay. But no, and then when she's down in the lair, that's when Music of the Night happens. And then there are so many other characters in this show. It's not just the 3 of them. Mm-hmm. There is the managers who run the opera house. Okay. Who don't know anything about art. This is just a business for them. Mm-hmm. So those are actually the really funny scenes when. Yeah. Because it's because the Phantom is he's a phantom. He's not this poor soul living in the opera house.
He's like, this dude that lives in our basement won't leave our actors alone.
It's like this bitch. I swear to God. And in the musical, he doesn't have a name. He's just the Phantom. However, in real life, his name is Eric.
Wait, what do you mean by in real life?
Well, no, in the book, his name is Eric.
Okay, in the book he has a name, but in the musical he does not.
No, in the musical he's just the Phantom. However, apparently, if you do go up to Box 5 in the Phantom in the Phantom's Opera House, in the Opera House from whence this is based, apparently Box 5, which is the Phantom's box in every adaptation.
Why does he have a box?
Because he wants to watch the show. Damn it!
Oh, I thought you meant Oh, I got confused for a second.
No, God help you if you sell Box 5, because Box 5 is the Phantom seat. But with the managers, it's really funny because he does nothing but write them notes. Just hey, so the performance last night was great, but the dancers were an absolute mess. Blah 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 blah. So it's really funny. It's really funny to see them get just aggravated by all these notes. It's just dear Andre was a charming gala, Christine, whatever. And then there's the and Christine, before she became the opera star, again was a chorus girl, and she replaced La Carlotta, aka Mimi Driver, in the 2004 movie, and she's just this Italian diva who is just who apparently everybody's oh, she can't sing. if you're like lead for the opera, you can sing. She's got chops. She's got chops. She's got some pipes, as Mr. Hallop would say. my high school chorus teacher. Oh boy, Mr. Hallop. But they're all really funny to watch. And the Phantom does kill. There are murders in this show. There is death.
Good. If it was a like gothic, like I would expect death.
Yeah, no, there is definitely death. The Punjab Lasso, Monsieur, aka a noose. So he just goes around
with a noose.
He just walks around with a noose whenever he's really truly pissed. Again, one of the famous parts of the show is they're doing this show and they ignore Phantom's orders to put Christine as the leading role and Carlotta as the silent role. So not only did he mess up Carlotta's voice, but he also hangs one of the stagehands during the show.
Nice.
So there's like this beautiful ballet going on, and then all of a sudden, push, dead, and then there's just this body hanging from the ceiling.
That's fine. I can think of some stagehands that I think we'd all like gone.
Dude, I guess. Oh my god, I could... Oh my god, yes, I could totally...
We won't name any names.
I won't name any names, but...
After the recording, we'll name some names.
Oh, buddy, you know who you are. And then, like, that takes us into All I Ask of You, which is an amazing love song, and then he drops the chandelier after that, and then we come back from intermission, then we do Masquerade, and he's like, surprise, bitch, I bet you guys thought I was gone, and that's when he brings out his own opera, Don Juan's Triumphant, and then it's like, Christine's gonna play the leading role, and she's like, bitch, I don't want to do the leading role, and then she goes and visits her father's grave for like, what should I do, and then she does the show, and then he kidnaps her, and then it's like, here's, like, you're gonna wear this wedding dress, and here's this ring, you're gonna marry me one way or another, and she's like, no, and then he's like, and then Raoul comes down to save her, and he's like, okay.
And he dies.
He does not die. He does not die. Some would say unfortunately.
No, you said they get married in the end.
Yeah, they do get married in the end. And then it's like, he's like, you marry me and he lives, you don't marry me, he dies, and then she kisses him and that makes everything better. And then they go up, and then he gets to stay alone and be lonely forever, and then Christine and Raoul get married and have a happy ending until the sequel.
The sequel! Of course there's a sequel.
Of course there's a sequel. Love Never Dies, based off of the book The Phantom Takes Manhattan. So basically,
Phantom Takes Manhattan.
Or The Phantom in Manhattan or something like that. So
why is this suddenly a Sex and the City movie?
I mean, this could be an Idiot's Explain all by itself. But it's just like, it was basically Andrew Lloyd Webber took this pretty much fan fiction, and it was beautiful. Like, you know what? Phantom of the Opera, that beautiful ending was not good enough. Let's make a sequel of it. Let's make a sequel where Eric, where the Phantom has moved. It's 10 years after the events of Phantom of the Opera. Eric has moved to Coney Island, New York, in like 1910 or something. Owns a nightclub.
What?
He owns a nightclub where the dance instructor from the original opera house, her name is Madame Giry, and her daughter Meg, who was Christine's best friend, where they kind of run the place. And then he beckons over Christine from Europe to come sing on his nightclub because it's been 10 years. In Christine's world, she's still this famous singer. Raoul is a drunk and a gambler who's lost all their money. Raoul, yeah, exactly. What a dick. Plus, they have a son who just so happens to be 10 years old and very, very, very musically talented. Oh, snap. So,
oh my god.
Yeah.
Was the sequel successful?
Yeah.
Do people like it?
Yes.
Do you like it?
I like aspects of it. I like some of the songs. I think that Phantom is hilarious in it. I think that this
is a whole crack fic. So if he wasn't hilarious,
well, he's not like he's not like funny hilarious. It's just the entire thing. I'm just like, oh, you beautiful train wreck.
It sounds hilarious.
Oh, you beautiful train wreck. And then the son Gustav is very musically talented because one part is Christine and the other part is Phantom because the night before that Christine got married or whatever, she and the Phantom made some music of the night.
Oh.
It's magic. So he's the illegitimate love child of Christine and the Phantom, and he's like, and the Phantom pretty much is like, here's the thing, you've seen in my show, and I won't kill your son until he realizes that it is his son. But then it's just oh my god, it's this beautiful train wreck, and then Christine dies at the end.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh yeah, totally fun.
Did Christine know that her son was the Phantom?
Yes.
Does Raoul know?
No, he finds out.
Because I was going to ask if that was the reason why he became a drunk and a gambler.
No. Okay. That would have been hilarious, though.
Because it seems like everything takes a hard left turn.
Everything takes a hard left turn in this show. It's just, the story is, it's unfortunate, to say the least. The story is unfortunate. Some of them... The acting, I think, is pretty good because that's also on DVD, like the 25th anniversary. Mm-hmm. The whole show. You can see the whole show with the 20th anniversary. But some of the songs like Till I Hear You Sing and Beauty Underneath, well, actually, those are really the only two songs that I really like, that I really care to know. But it's just this beautiful just train wreck, and it's amazing.
Does he still wear the mask in the sequel?
Fuck yeah!
Yeah! He's like, this is my signature now.
They have no plastic surgery in the early 1900s, late 1800s. He's stuck with that for life. He's carried it with him for this long, and it's like, there's Love Never Dies, and then there's so many renditions, like there was the movie adaptation of Phantom of the Opera in 2004 that had Gerard Butler. Who is not the right pick. Gerard Butler, buddy, I love you, but you were not the right pick for that role. I love you, but you're not, those are not your chops. My voice is going so bad. I'm sure at the beginning of this, I was like, hey, I'm Amanda, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm just like, ah.
That's because we've been yelling.
But yeah, anyway, my voice is going. But that is my love and adoration. And just, I don't think I covered really how much I absolutely just love this musical.
Yeah,
and
if you guys could see her, she's literally hunched over, like, fist. Like, she...
It's part of my soul. It's part of who I am as an individual.
Oh my god.
I love this musical.
I don't think I love anything as much as you.
I love Phantom of the Opera. Music of the Night, honestly, is my favorite song ever. It's not really socially acceptable to be your favorite song ever, but it's the one that's just... It makes my... To quote the song, it makes my spirit soar, and I'm so excited every single time I hear it. And I've seen the show like 3 times on stage. One of them made me super pissed. Oh my god.
Why? I know we're trying to wrap this up, but why?
2016, they redesigned the stage.
Oh, no. Say nothing more. 2016.
They redesigned the stage, which was fine, but the blocking and the actors just made me so pissed. And like the Phantom, the guy who they cast to play the Phantom was like the 4th placed winner of The Voice that year. Oh. They hired a singer to act, and that makes me so angry always. And he wasn't even good, and I'm so angry.
Yeah, you're 4th place.
Oh my god, just everything about it. I was just like, no, why? Oh my god.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing that up for you. It was traumatic.
No, it was just, I have the original. I have the original one. I'm excited. I'm okay. But, yeah, so that is my love and adoration and desire to just go. One day I will go back to the Opera House. I will get inside. I will go up to box 5 and I will see if there is an actual empty space in there. But I'm just, oh my god. So Grivas, what have you learned?
I learned about the movie Phantom of the Opera. I feel like so taken aback because you're just so passionate about it.
It's a musical. It's a musical.
Did I say that?
You said movie. You said movie.
I was looking at the dog.
The dog is a distraction. Do you hear the disappointment in my voice?
No, I feel like you're just so passionate about it, and I'm just like, oh. But I'm just like, it seems like such a straightforward musical.
Yeah.
When you explain it out, that I feel like I have a sense of it now.
Okay.
Especially like with my terrible memory, it probably feels as if I've seen it now.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna make you listen to the music a little bit. I'm gonna show you some of my favorite songs after this. But
how do you feel now expelling that passion out?
I feel oh my god, it feels bad that I feel really bad, honestly, that I can't really sing any of the songs right now, because I can hit some of those notes, but yeah.
We'll start the next one out with you just hitting a note.
That's not happening right now. I will do no such thing. Okay, but yeah, guys, that was this episode of It Is Explained. Grivas,
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's been a very
passionate
and exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, that wraps this up. So we'll be back next time with something that Grivas.
Yes, it's my turn next.
It is your turn next.
What shall I choose? Picard has requested something.
Oh my god, I'm begging you, please do it.
Depending on my time, I may or may not do it.
Please, I beg of you, do it. I need to know. Your sneezes are freaking adorable, and I love them.
But yeah, so we'll see if Picard gets her wish or not next time.
I'm begging you, please.
We'll see you guys then. Or I guess you'll hear us then.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.